Thank you for tuning in to watch this video on remote instruction for the 2020-21 school year. My name is Lee Corville and I am the Deputy Superintendent for Educational Services. The purpose of this video is to provide parents, students, and the community in Dickinson ISD with an understanding of what the remote instruction model of Dickinson ISD is, what it will look like, what parents and students can expect when we return for the 2020 school year. Learning is the primary purpose of our schools, and good first instruction from a classroom teacher combined with interactive experiences cannot be replaced. We have worked diligently to plan a meaningful, successful learning experience for students engaging in remote instruction, as well as for those who will be on campuses for face-to-face instruction. We understand you have a very important decision to make regarding the choice of face-to-face or remote instruction, and we want you to have the information you need to make the right decision for you, your children, and your family. I want to take you back to the last 9 weeks of the 2019-2020 school year when COVID-19 forced us to stay home. During this time, all students moved to a remote learning environment. Students visited teachers' classroom web pages for information, directions, and assignments. Students had some flexibility with deciding when assignments were completed and when they were given a week or more to turn in a completed assignment. During the 2020-2021 school year, remote instruction is offered to any pre-kindergartner through 12th grade student and will look very different from remote learning during the last 9 weeks of the 2019-2020 school year. The Texas Education Agency has set clear guidelines about expectations for students, parents, and teachers, as well as guidelines for student attendance. The model I am about to explain is designed within these guidelines set forth by the Texas Education Agency. The remote instruction model in Dickinson ISD is an asynchronous model and will utilize Google Classroom and Zoom as major tools for instructional delivery. Asynchronous means that learning occurs at a different time than instruction. Instruction may be a video of the teacher, emails or texts between the student and teacher, or an introduction and set of materials provided to the student through Google Classroom. Teachers and students will also be in live Zoom meetings together on a regular weekly basis. During this time together, the learning is called synchronous because the instruction and learning are happening simultaneously. However, the majority of learning will be asynchronous. Parents who are interested in learning more about Google Classroom will have the opportunity to do this through pre-recorded tutorials that will be posted for easy access. Stay tuned for when and where you can access these videos. Among the guidelines from the Texas Education Agency is the expectation that all remote instruction students follow the same curriculum, scope, and sequence, learn the same skills, and engage in the same activities as face-to-face students. In both instructional models, students will be moving at the same pace with new skills being introduced at the same rate. Essential learning standards have been identified for each grade level and subject area. Students will focus on these for a bit longer to achieve mastery and be successful in the next grade level. Another requirement from the Texas Education Agency is related to attendance for students in remote instruction. Here are the guidelines to mandatory attendance. Students must be engaged each day as defined by the teacher's daily plan in Google Classroom. Daily engagement between the student and teacher is required, which may include but is not limited to logging into and making progress in Google Classroom, daily progress via teacher-student interactions through Google Classroom, Gmail, email, Zooms, etc., and submission of daily assignments via Google Classroom. As long as the engagement occurs before 11:59 p.m., the student will be marked present for the day. If a student has a 0 engagement in a class from 8 a.m. to 11:59 p.m., the student will be marked absent. Parents must keep a log of the time their student participated in remote learning each day. This log will need to be submitted to the school district upon request. Now let's take a look at the timeline for the start of the school year. The first day of the 2020-2021 school year is Monday, August 24, 2020. All students in Dickinson ISD will begin the school year with remote instruction. After the first 3 weeks of remote instruction, a phase-in of face-to-face instruction will begin. Let's take a look at the phase-in to face-to-face instruction and remote instruction. August 24th will be the first day for school for all students, and all students begin with remote instruction. The school day for students will be 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. for all grade levels. On August 31st, pre-kindergarten and kindergarten students who selected face-to-face instruction will begin instruction on campus. Each teacher will have a PPE kit to observe safety among students and teachers. Pre-K students will attend a half day of school, either AM or PM. Kindergarten students will attend a full day, 8:30 to 3:30 p.m. We will have one bilingual full-day pre-K class at Silvernagle Elementary, attending from 8:30 to 3:30 p.m. Some special education programs will begin on campus as well. The day will be 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Those classes are LID, EXE, TIDE, CELS, WAVE, and ABCD. Grades 1 through 12 will continue with remote instruction and continue with remote instruction hours. Student school day is 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. On September 14th, all students who selected face-to-face instruction will begin on campus. Face-to-face instruction will follow normal campus hours. Students who selected remote instruction will revert to regular campus school hours and regular campus schedule. The normal campus hours in Dickinson ISD is 7:05 to 2:35 for Dickinson High School, 7:45 to 3:15 for middle school and junior high, and 8:30 to 4 o'clock for elementary. Now I want to go back to the topic of the first day of school, August 24th. Remember, all students will start school with remote instruction. On the first day, teachers will be making contact with all students by phone, texts, emails, and/or Google Classroom. The purpose is to welcome students to remote instruction, onboard students with Google Classroom, and ensure students have proper passwords and establish a remote instruction classroom with expectations for students. Remote instruction teachers will be conducting remote classrooms while being at his or her assigned campus. Teachers will be communicating with students and parents through email, texts, phone calls, and Zoom meetings. Teachers will utilize Zoom to conduct live lessons and hold live small group instruction. Teachers will be available to answer questions, provide support to students and teachers, and provide feedback on student work. For an individual teacher's schedule, you will need to visit the teacher's webpage and/or Google Classroom. Remote instruction students will be following an established daily schedule, and I will discuss schedules in another video. Students are expected to follow the remote instruction schedule during the first 3 weeks of remote instruction. After the first 3 weeks have passed and students who selected face-to-face instruction return to campuses, all students, whether in remote instruction or face-to-face instruction, will follow the regular campus schedule. Again, those hours are 7:05 to 2:35 for Dickinson High School, 7:45 to 3:15 for junior high and middle school, and 8:30 to 4 for elementary schools. Parents, if you are wondering what your role is in remote instruction, I want to go over a few points. Parents of students engaging in remote instruction will provide daily support for students. They will provide a safe, organized, and quiet place for the student to engage in remote learning on a daily basis. Parents will ensure that the student is following the remote instruction schedule and assist the student with understanding the daily lesson and assignment. The parent will also assist the student with questions he or she may have and contact the teacher at appropriate times to ask for help if needed. The parent will also ensure that students have completed tasks and have submitted them in a timely manner. Remote instruction requires a fair amount of parent engagement with the daily instruction students receive. The success of students in remote instruction requires a collaborative effort between the campus, the teacher, student, and parent. Now that we have gone over what the DISD remote instruction model is, the role of the teacher, student, and parent, and the phase-in to face-to-face instruction, it is time to talk about student schedules for remote instruction. In order to learn more about schedules, please access the video that reflects your child's grade level to learn more about student schedules. Thank you for taking time to watch this video and learn about your child's education experience in the 2020-2021 school year. Should you have further questions, please know we are here for you. And feel free to contact your child's campus or the Educational Services team at 281-229-6000. We hope you and your children have a wonderful and successful learning experience in 2020-2021.